TIFU by accidentally causing 5 children to be bullied for the rest of their lives by user Alfwin. This happened years ago, but it still haunts me. Some backstory: me and my best friend were ruthlessly uncool when we were 15. Not in a they were a bit quirky kind of way, but in the they were autistic, only watch anime and listen to K-pop, let us dump their clothes in the PE locker room toilet kind of way. Because of this, we thrived on academic validation and spent most of our time hiding in the school library, avoiding all human interaction. One day, during one of these library hangouts, we found Sweden's largest baby name website. It let you see the meaning of a name plus stats on how many people had it. On the front page was a list of recently searched names and a separate one for the most searched names this month. For fun, we decided to search for a completely ridiculous name no one could possibly have, think something along the lines of Gop or Poopy. To our surprise, 2 people in Sweden did have that name. Naturally, we decided to make this our new hobby, spamming that name as search over and over during all of our breaks so it would always be on both the recently searched and the most popular names this month list on the front page. We kept this up for 2 months straight. No sleep. No social interaction. Only spamming. Then we moved on to a new hyperfixation. I think this was around the start of our Haiku phase and completely forgot about it. Fast forward 5 years. We reorder list of press and actually have friends. We suddenly remembered our Gop a bit and decided to revisit the website. That is when we saw it. There were now 7 people in Sweden with that name. Unless there was a sudden influx of Danish people with ugly names, the only explanation is that our bit actually worked. So yeah, if you're Swedish, born around 2015, and your name is ugly, I am sorry. TLDR, when I was 15, my friend and I spammed a Swedish baby name site with a ridiculous name as a joke, so it stayed on the front page. 5 years later, there are 5 more kids in Sweden with that name, and it is probably our fault. Edit, the name is like I said, not Gop, but something similar. I'm not writing the actual name because I don't want the kids to Google it and find this post. TIFU by ordering the 7 million Scoville chicken wing by user Squogs. This actually happened today. I love spicy food. My tolerance doesn't reach any dizzying heights, but I can usually get through very spicy meals relatively comfortably. I had always wanted to challenge myself to eat a ghost pepper or even a reaper to see how I'd handle it. There is an incredible independent chicken wing place near me that does various spice challenges, the hardest of which is called Null by Mouth. They don't advertise the Scovilles on this, but this particular wing requires you to sign a waiver before you attempt it. Few people had completed it without the aid of milk or ice cream. I've been to this restaurant 6 times and always said I'd try it someday. How bad could it be? Well, today was that day. My partner, who also has a respectable spice tolerance, and I were going to try it together. Make it a fun little contest to see who could last the longest. We eat our main meals. Delicious South Carolina BBQ and maple habanero wings with Asian slaw. Awesome. Maple habanero is on the menu as very hot. We questioned their heat classifications because they were very easy. We were not convinced they were not overselling the heat on these death wings. It'll be fine, we deduce. Out comes the Null by Mouth along with a set of gloves. The wings are drenched in thick, bright crimson sauce. It smells like pure spice and nothing else, but oddly appetizing and makes my mouth water. Waivers are signed to say it is my fault if I get ill because I was stupid enough to try this. Still blissfully unaware of how bad this could be until a chef emerges from the kitchen, stands across from our table, crosses his arms and grins. Just to say before you try this, if someone is already in the bathroom and you start to feel ill, we keep a bucket just inside the door that says staff only, says the waitress. Is it really that bad? My partner asks. It has been, she laughs. Oh, okay. We don the gloves. The couples on the tables next to us are watching now. A premonition of, oh God, what have I done, fleets my mind. I start to question if this is a good idea, but the hell wings are looking at me like the Green Goblin mask. Oh well, you'll low in it. We count down from 3 and bite. First of all, it tasted disgusting. Like a weird, earthy, bitter taste. This sauce is definitely based on an extract rather than trying to actually be palatable. Red flag was waving, but it was too late. However, the spice doesn't start off too bad. We were just roasting the dog shit flavor at this point. Yeah, it is awful, isn't it? At last the chef. WTF bro, you made it. Probably not actually, I don't know. We finished the wings. The spice is building now. All of a sudden it takes off. My mouth ignites, my lips ignite, my throat ignites. I think someone has literally lit a fire on my tongue. I don't know what to do with myself. I am gasping for cool air, but every breath makes it worse. My ears start to ring. I am flapping my hands trying to cool my lips down. It feels like Satan himself has just opened a guided tour of hell and the entrance is my mouth. My partner starts to choke. He stands up, leans over the table, trying to breathe in between unrelenting hiccups. Meanwhile, I seem to have lost control of my limbs, scrabbling around my bench with my feet, tears streaming down my face. My body seems to have developed pores inside my pores in a feeble attempt to sweat the shit out. This pain is unlike anything I've ever felt at this point. My mouth is excruciating, and my whole body doesn't know how to cope with it. This is certainly an akin response to going into shock, and it's just getting worse. Before we can plead for relief, our Lord and Savior, the chef, has already been and brought ice creams to the table. It is on the house, he says. I think my man felt a tinge of guilt for all the enjoyment he was getting out of this. I got through 3 mini milks and a chocolate milk before I started to feel relief. I totally forgot my partner was even there. When I look at him, he is as red as the sauce itself. His pupils are so dilated I can barely see his irises. Usually a man of many words, he looks at me with tormented eyes. That was no joke, is all he says. I asked the chef how many scovilles that was. 7 million, we retold. Holy shit. I knew that a reaper was around 2 million, and I thought the sauce couldn't be much worse than that. What a numpty. Anyway, after 20 minutes or so, we recover, we go home, we all good right. But then it gets worse. And actually, I am pretty sure this isn't the end of it. We lying on the sofa watching Off the Hook. My stomach starts to hurt. I drink some milk. It helps a bit. My partner is all good. I am sure it'll pass. I lie back down as it seems to be the most comfortable position right now. Remember when I said the pain was unlike anything I'd ever felt until this point? Yeah, well, turns out I'd find out far sooner than I ever thought what pain worse than that felt like. Suddenly, an excruciating, searing pain rips through my stomach. The embers have lighted again, but this time someone has doused my digestive tract with gasoline for good measure. The Death Wing has been greenlit for a sequel, and this time it is bringing double the budget. I am writhing in pain. My body feels like it is on fire again. I move to the bed to lay down. It is no good. No position helps. I move to the bathroom. I lay in the fetal position on the floor inside the shower, wet from the shower earlier, to try and cool down. It doesn't work. I am screaming internally, hyperventilating, head light and wavering. I can see the light of heaven and St. Peter's pearly gates calling my name. I am actually hoping I do pass out so I don't have to feel this pain anymore. My partner is freaking out. I can speak to answer his questions. I am shaking uncontrollably from the agony I am in. The pins and needles in my hands are so bad that I can't even move my fingers. I start throwing up on the floor. I manage to tell my partner to turn the shower on. He does. I continue to throw up, the shower floor now swirling with my vomit, fully clothed and now freezing cold. My partner wants to call an ambulance, but I know the only way is to ride this out. Thankfully, it seems that vomiting managed to get enough of the demon spawn out of my system. Gradually, I started to recover. I took a full shower, drank a shit ton of milk and water, ate some bread, and now I sit here typing this tale of the accursed chicken wing that made this atheist see Jesus. And this may only be the beginning. You know what I mean. TLDR, chose a fate worse than death when I decided to eat a 7 million Scoville chicken wing. Don't do it, kids. Or do I am not your dad. TIFU by forgetting my stroller was empty, by use a ginger pretzel mama. Early this morning I decided to go for a walk with my son 4 months and my husband's Doberman, since it was nice out and I figured I could pick up an iced coffee without having to pile into the car. That'd be nice. My 10-year-old daughter asks if she can come. I agree and she hurries to get changed and we're out the door, baby strapped into his stroller, still asleep. We walk for about 25 minutes and I'm just chatting with my 10-year-old about various things when we're going back to school shopping, if she can get a frozen hot chocolate from the coffee shop, if she can get a cookie, if the pool boy is back from vacation yet so she can swim before we shut up the pool for the season, yada yada, when finally the baby wakes up. He isn't crying or fussing, just starts kicking a little bit and his eyes are clearly open. Daughter asks if she can hold him for a little while. I tell her sure, reminding her that if he squirms she has to put him back. We keep walking for another 10 minutes. We get to the top of a slight incline and the dog decides to do his business in a patch of grass, and while I'm reaching around, barking at the smell and fumbling to get one of the poop bags out of the holder on the leash, I hear a weird sound and oh shit. The stroller is rolling away. My dumbass didn't lock the wheels. Shit. My brain is going in 12 different directions. I'm hauling my fat ass down this slight hill, nearly stumbling and eating shit on the pavement twice as the dog embarrasses me by only doing a half trot while I'm sprinting in my mind. There's nobody around so I can't exactly shout runaway stroller and get help from some stranger. I'm saved by the stroller hitting a pole when it gets to the corner at the bottom of the incline, stopping in its tracks. I get to the stroller, out of breath, red in the face. I've managed to drop my phone halfway down the hill so now I have to double back and grab it and still pick up the dog shit. I pull the stroller towards me and turn it around, prepared to reach inside and comfort my baby, and it hits me all at once. The baby is not in a stroller. I just chased after an empty stroller with the full panic of thinking my 4-month-old was about to roll into traffic. Suddenly I was happy there was nobody around because at least that means there was no one to record me. My only audience was 2 people I birthed and someone who barks at his own reflection. I turn around and my 10-year-old is laughing at me, walking at a steady pace, still holding the baby. I was gonna tell you, but I wanted to see how long before you remembered, she says. The look on her face reminded me so much of the times my husband would fuck with me back when we were in college. How shenanigans face can be genetic, I have no idea. I sigh, still huffing and puffing, and tell her to put her brother back in the stroller. We double back to get my phone and pick up the poop. We trudge another 5 minutes to the coffee shop. I get my 30+ ounces of iced espresso, caramel syrup, mocha syrup, and milk. Daughter gets her glorified chocolate milk with whipped cream and a cookie. The dog gets a pup cup. Everyone wins. TLDR, I didn't remember my daughter was holding my baby and proceeded to look like an idiot running after an empty stroller, almost tripping and falling on my face twice. TIFU after getting stood up by user of Rageous Decon 409. Last night I was supposed to meet up with someone from a dating app for food and drinks. We had messaged a little back and forth and they confirmed the plans day of. But then they were a complete no-show. The waiter at the restaurant was the sweetest to me. I had explained the situation. He was so nice to me. After I was over sitting at a table waiting, feeling embarrassed, he moved me to the bar and gave me a shot. I ordered food because I was super hungry and already there. He kept checking in on me even after being moved out of his section. When I got the bill, he had also comped one of my drinks for me. Then on my way out, the front desk guy let me know he got me beer to go. He was cute too. Looking back, I think he was being more than just nice, but I didn't think to ask the front desk guy if he was single and would want my number until I was in my Uber. TLDR, my cute waiter was beyond nice to me after being stood up, and it didn't occur to me to shoot my shot with him until after I left. TIFU by finding out my wife and I used the same toothbrush by user Launching Border 59. Turns out for the last 4 months, my wife 31 and I 27 have been using the same toothbrush. For some context, back in April we both went to the dentist and opted to get a new toothbrush. While we were there, they had a BOGO deal going on. These toothbrushes are electric with exchangeable heads in green, blue, and purple. One of us chose purple, the other chose blue. Now all this time I could have sworn that I chose purple. It's my favorite color, and anytime purple is a choice for anything I choose it, and my wife's favorite color is blue. So you would think logically me purple or blue, but I digress. We have an 18-month-old and I work a lot, so we usually don't go to bed or wake up at the same time. I wake up at 8 and go to bed around 10, and she wakes up around 9 and goes to bed around 11 after she puts our son down for bed. Tonight our son fell asleep early because he's been sick, so we both were getting ready for bed at the same time. When we went to brush our teeth, we both reached for the same toothbrush, and after much debate we decided to throw away both heads and put on our backups, and now my wife put a hair tie on hers to show the difference, haha. Doctor, my wife and I were using the same toothbrush because we weren't on the same schedule and had go replace our toothbrush heads.